When the Ming Dynasty replaces the Yuan in 1368, it inherits a northern frontier already marked by older walls, forts, and beacon systems. The new government repairs strategic passes and builds defenses, but it does not begin at one end of China and construct a single continuous wall eastward. Early Ming policy also relies on garrisons, cavalry, diplomacy, and offensive campaigns beyond the frontier. Where walls are needed, workers use local materials, rammed earth in dry regions, stone where quarries are near, and timber for gates and towers. Soldiers and military households perform much of the labor, joined by conscripted civilians and craftsmen under state direction. The first stage is therefore a network being adapted, not a mythical line suddenly born. Its form changes with terrain, threat, supply, and imperial strategy. Under the Yongle Emperor, Ming power reaches north through repeated campaigns, and the capital moves to Beijing. Fortified passes protecting approaches to the capital become increasingly important, yet an aggressive military posture still reduces reliance on an unbroken barrier. Garrisons maintain earlier earthworks, rebuild towers, and control roads through mountains. Builders ram layers of earth between temporary forms, compacting each lift before adding the next. In rocky districts, foundations follow ridgelines and use rubble or dressed stone. Beacon towers relay alarms with smoke by day and fire by night, but signals and codes vary by place and period. Supply remains a constant constraint. Grain, tools, animals, and labor must reach remote positions. Every repaired pass is both architecture and logistics, tied to nearby forts and military colonies. The Tumu crisis of 1449, when the Oirat captured the Jingtong Emperor, exposes the danger of mobile warfare beyond secure support. Ming strategy gradually shifts toward stronger fixed defenses around vulnerable corridors. Existing walls are linked, extended, or rebuilt, especially near Beijing and major passes, but the changes occur through separate regional projects. Soldiers quarry stone, ram earth cores, cut terraces into slopes, and erect towers where watchers can see along valleys and ridges. Gates become fortified complexes capable of checking trade and troop movement as well as blocking raids. The landscape dictates the line, walls climb mountains not for spectacle but to deny easy passage and improve observation. Construction is intermittent, accelerating after crises and slowing when money, labor, or political attention turns elsewhere. By the early 16th century, frontier commands oversee long sectors containing walls, beacon towers, passes, and garrison settlements. Many defenses still consist chiefly of tamped earth, sometimes faced or founded with stone. Builders excavate ditches, shape parapets, and provide a path along the crest for patrols and messengers. Watch posts must be close enough to communicate, while major forts store weapons and grain. The wall cannot defend itself. Troops, horses, intelligence, and rapid reinforcement give masonry its meaning. Civil officials struggle to fund repairs, and commanders report breaches caused by weather or neglect. In arid western regions, reeds, gravel, and compacted soil can substitute for scarce brick. The famous gray brick appearance belongs especially to later and eastern sections. This frontier remains materially diverse. Intensifying Mongol pressure drives major new building near the capital and along northern commands. After Altan Khan's raid reaches Beijing's suburbs in 1550, fortification receives renewed urgency. Walls are heightened, gaps closed, and key eastern stretches increasingly faced with brick and cut stone around packed earth cores. Kilns near work zones produce huge quantities of brick, lime mortar, sometimes strengthened with organic additives, binds masonry exposed to freeze, rain, and wind. Roads and animals carry materials toward steep ridges where final hauling is human work. The projects remain campaign-based, authorized and financed section by section. A brick parapet may rise above an older earthen line, while a nearby valley receives a new gate fort. The result is layered reconstruction, visible history embedded within the wall itself. Late 16th century commanders, including Qi Jiguang, supervise extensive improvements in the Jizhou sector northeast of Beijing. Under Qi, thousands of hollow watchtowers are built or standardized along defended lines, providing shelter, storage, observation, and fighting platforms. Their designs vary with terrain and tactical need rather than following one universal blueprint. Brick stairways and vaulted rooms replace simpler platforms in important sections. Crews strengthen crenellated parapets, drainage outlets, gates, and paved wall walks, while garrisons train to use firearms, signals, and coordinated defense. Peace agreements with Mongol leaders reduce pressure in some regions after 1571, yet construction and maintenance continue. The wall now seen at places such as Badaling reflects this mature Ming system, impressive masonry tied to troops, towers, and fortified passes. As the Jurchen power that will become the Qing rises in the northeast, Ming resources shift toward Liaodong and the approaches to Shanhai Pass. Repairs reinforce strategic gates and coastal-to-mountain connections, while new lines protect corridors rather than completing a national outline. Cannons and firearms alter tower platforms and fort design. Soldiers rebuild storm-damaged parapets, clear drains, replace doors, and move supplies through garrison towns. Fiscal strain, factional politics, and simultaneous rebellions make sustained maintenance harder. Some walls are formidable brick masonry, others remain eroded earth, and gaps may be guarded by terrain or mobile patrols. This unevenness is not a failed version of a single plan. It is evidence that the Ming frontier was a changing military system constructed across generations under different budgets and threats. In the dynasty's final years, commanders continue repairing passes and holding garrisons, but walls cannot resolve political collapse inside the empire. In 1644, rebel forces led by Li Zicheng take Beijing. At Shanhai Pass, Ming general Wu Sangui opens the pass to Manchu forces, who defeat the rebels and establish Qing rule in the capital. The episode shows why the Great Wall was never an absolute barrier. Control of gates, armies, alliances, and government mattered more than stone alone. Ming construction ends not with a final brick but with dynastic transition. Across more than 276 years, separate projects have reused ancient earthworks and added rammed earth, brick, stone, towers, horse tracks, shelters, fortresses, and passes. The surviving wall is a layered frontier landscape, not one ancient monument built in a single age.